Hi, my name is Tiffany Wyatt, and this is for the last assignment, Module 8, Anatomy and Physiology 2. I will be doing the PowerPoint on the male and female reproductive system, and I'm going to share my screen this way to show you how I did my PowerPoint. I'm going to go by step and also show me in and out of the screen. So I have, let's see, the female reproductive system. How does the female reproductive system work, and describe the contribution of each organ and specific roles played? What parts of the female, like what parts on the female in the anatomy? I found out information on that. The information that I have on that would be the female reproductive system provides several functions. The ovaries produce the eggs called the ovum, and the oocytes. The oocytes are then transported to the fallopian tubes, where the fertilization by a sperm may occur. During the menopause, the female reproductive system gradually stops making the female hormones necessary for the reproductive cycle to work. The female reproductive anatomy includes both external and internal structures. And that is that second screen, the second slide, I can say. Then I have the third slide. This is the female reproductive system, another one of that. I have a picture showed here. I'm bring it in closer. A picture that goes along with the internal structures. We have labia majora, labia minora, and we got Bartholin glands and the clitoris. That's four of the internal structures that I have here. And what I did was for each slide, I broke it down and I explained each one of these. And I will read here what I have about each one of the internal structures of the female reproductive system. I have the labia majora. That is like the large lips. It's enclosed and protected the other external reproductive organs. During puberty and hair growth occurs on the skin in the labia majora, which also contains sweat and oil secreting glands. The labia minora, which is the small lips, can have a variety of size and shapes. They lie just inside the labia majora and surround the openings to the vagina and the utera. And on the fourth slide, I had to put some of the external structures on the fourth slide. Let's see. I also shared the same picture there with the external on a different side. Kind of changed it up this time. Just made it look a little bit different. And I'm going to continue here reading about the labia minora. Its skin is very delicate and can become easily irritated and swollen. Okay, and we're going to go on about the Bartholin's glands. They are located next to the vagina opening and on each side, and produce a fluid, which is like mucus of the secretion. The clitoris. There are two labia minora met at the clitoris, a small sensitive protrusion that is comparable to the penis in males. That completes that part. And now we're going to talk about the internal structures. I got a picture right here on the fifth slide, I can say. This is still the female reproductive system that we are talking about. With the internal structure, we have the vagina, the uterus, which is the womb, the ovaries, and the fallopian tubes. right here, I'm going to read about the vagina. The vagina is a kernel that joins the surface, the lower part of the uterus, to the outside of the body. Also is known as the birth canal. The uterus is a hollow and pear-shaped organ it basically is like developing the fetus. The kernel through the surface allows the sperm to enter the menstruation with a blood exit. Okay. Okay. Let me see. I'm gonna go to the next one. Okay. Here we go. Next slide will be, we still are talking about the internal structures. Can you see that? The internal structures. I will be talking about the ovaries and the fallopian tubes next. And we have ovaries and the fallopian tubes. Okay. Now, for the ovaries are small, oval-shaped glands that are located on either side of the uterus. The ovaries produce eggs and hormones. The fallopian tubes are narrow tubes that are attached to the upper part of the uterus and serve as pathways for the ovum to travel from the ovaries to the uterus. And then we have the seventh slide here. The seventh slide, that is the female function. I will talk about the female function. The main function is to protect the internal parts of the female reproductive system. It play a role in the sexual arousal and stimulation, facultative sex, such as through providing lubrication and cushion. Okay, and the vagina has several functions, which can include receiving a toy, or penis during the sex, serving as the birth canal during the childbirth. And this is allowing the menstrual blood to pass out of your body during your period. The uterus is the female reproductive organ that receives the fertilized egg and supports the development during the pregnancy. We'll discuss the uterus in more detail below. Okay? And that is the seventh slide. We're going to go to the eighth slide here. Female function continues. We have the vulva, the vagina, the uterus, the fallopian tube, and the ovaries. That is, and I have a picture here of a woman, and also showing a picture of where the uterus and the ovary and fallopian tubes, what exactly that looked like. And here, let me see. Okay. Now I am going to talk about the fertilization often occurs in the fallopian tubes. The main function of the ovaries is to release the eggs. When you are born, your ovaries contain all the eggs you release throughout the lifetime. Once a month, a mature egg is released from the ovaries in a process called ovulation. The ovaries also produce a variety of female sex hormones, which are important for regulating women's cycles in pregnancy. And let's see. And we continue on. This is another picture, and I read off the rest of that on the female for the fallopian tubes and the ovaries that I just read. And now we're going to move on about the important facts on the female reproduction and things to remember. Let's see. That would be the 10th slide. The female reproductor is making up many parts. These parts function together to do many things, such as producing eggs and hormones, maintaining pregnancy, and facilitating childbirth. There are a variety of conditions that can affect the female reproductive organs, some of which can cause potentially serious complications. And we're gonna move on to the male reproductive system. Basically, I had the same question follow. How does the male reproductive system works? Describe the contribution of each organs and specific roles at play. And what are the male reproductive system? Um, like, what are the important parts in the anatomy? Okay. And that is slide 11. And that is the male reproductive system making semen, release semen into the reproductive system of the female during sexual intercourse. It produces sex hormones which help a boy develop into a sexual mature man during puberty. The contribution of the male reproductive system is giving life, meaning a seed of a child, seed to a child. The testes are responsible for making testosterone, the primary male sex hormones, and for producing sperm. Okay, I have, let's see, this is the 12th slide. Okay, now the male reproductive system and the external organs. That is going to be the 12th slide. This is the internal organs. I broke it down into the penis, the scrotum, the testicles, which is the testes, and the epididymis. Yeah, I have the side view and the front view picture that can show, give you an example of what that might look like. Okay, and for the 12th slide, I'm going to read here about the penis. Okay, the penis is the male organ for sexual intercourse. It has three parts. The root. This is the part of the penis that attached to the wall of the abdomen. The body of the shaft, shaped like a tube or cylinder. The body of the penis is made up to three internal chambers. The glands. This is the cone-shaped end of the penis. Okay, that completes the three. And then we're going to talk about the scrotum. The scrotum is the loose pouch that it's like a sack of skin that hangs below the penis. It holds the testicles, also called the testes, as well as many nerves and blood vessels. The scrotum protects your testes as well as providing a sort of climate control system. The scrotum protects your testes as well as providing a sort of climate control system. Okay. And that is, I'm going to show you, that is 14. Okay. And then we're going to talk about the testes. The testes are oval organs about the size of a very large olive that lie in the scrotum and secure at the either end by a structure called the spectacle cord. The embryos is a long, cool tube that rests on the backside of each testicle. It carries and stores sperm cells that are created in the testes. Okay. And I'm going to share with you the 15th slide. Okay. This is the male reproductive system internal organs. They have an internal organ as well. I just did a picture here, and then I threw down some information down at the bottom on the notes. And I have the male reproductive is mostly located outside the body. The internal organs include the vas deferens, prostate, and the urethra. The male reproductive system is responsible for sexual function as well as urination, to produce, maintain, and transport sperm and protective fluid, to discharge sperm within the female reproductive tract, to produce and secrete male sex hormones. Okay? And I'm gonna go to the 16th slide, which is, I just broke it down, just all six of the internal organs. That's just a slide of that, just breaking it down, and also explain what each one of these were. So I started off with the first one, the vas deferens. Okay, and also the same thing with that. It continues on because I continue explaining the 17, 18. Uh-oh. Let's go back. Let's go back. Right. Alrighty. And this time I shared a picture with this one. I'm going to go through all of this. I'm going to read what exactly the internal organs are. And so here we go. The vas deferens is a long muscular tube that travels from the emptyings into the private cavity to just behind the bladder. These ducts are found by the fusion of the vas deferens and the seminal vasecles. Hope I said that right. The urethra is the tube that carries urine from the bladder to the outside of your body. The 17th slide, which is the seminal vesicles are sac-like pouch that attach to the vas deferens near the base of the bladder. Okay, the prostate gland is a walnut-sized structure that is located below the urinary bladder in front of the rectum. The prostate gland contributes additional fluid to the ejaculate. Okay, and the 18th slide basically is the last internal organ, the Barbental glands. I have to see how they're broken down. So that is basically, it's a small pea structure that's located on the side of the urethra, just below the prostate gland. These glands produce a clear, slippery fluid that empties directly in the urethra. The fluid serves the lubricant in urethra and neutralize any activity that may be presented due to the residual drops of the urine in the urethra. Okay, and we gotta go to the 19th slide, and that is the male reproductive system function. Basically, I just did a picture just showing like different parts of it. I did something different, try to do a different picture here and there. Just give you a look of what it actually looked like. Okay, and this is the entire male reproductive system is dependent on the hormones. These are chemicals that stimulate and regulate the activity of your cells or organ. The primary hormones involved in the functioning of the male reproductive system and are follicle stimulating hormones, FSH, the luteinizing hormones, LH, and the testosterone. FSH and LH are produced by the pituitary gland. Okay, and we have here. Okay. Okay. So here we have the questions that we had to answer. The up to 2 slides. I made two slides for the questions, for the 4 questions that was answered. The first question is, describe what is the normal feedback loop that regulates the testosterone production in the male. And I came up with the LH stimulates the Leydig cells, which stimulates testosterone. FSH stimulates the Sertoli cells, which intensifies the spermatogenesis and release ABP for concentrating testosterone and inhibit. It is an androgen, meaning that it stimulates the development of the male characteristics. What are the normal roles of the testosterone in terms of the sperm production and other male characteristics? basically present in much greater levels in men than women. Testosterone initiate the development of the male internal and external reproductive organs during the fetal development and initial for the reproduction of the sperm in adult life. And for the what are the major hormones that is govern the menstrual cycle and their major function? And what are the three differences between the ovarian and the uterine cycles? So the menstrual cycle is regulated by the complex interaction of the hormones, luteinizing hormones and the follicles, stimulating hormones, and the female sex hormones, estrogen and pastoron. The ovarian cycle consists of the follicular phase and the ovulation and the luteal phase, whereas the uterine cycle consists of menstruation, proliferative phase, and the secretory phase. Hope I said that right. But that completes the the PowerPoint, and I also came with, let's see, my reference page. Let's pull that up. I have five peer review reference that I have pulled some information from about the male and female reproductive system. And that's it. That completes my PowerPoint for this Module 8. Thank you so much for listening, and this is Tiffany Wyatt. Thank you. Have a great day.